Good afternoon and welcome to the news at 3 on Aneke TV. First, the headlines. Protests rock Indonesia's president's trip to China. Thousands of Israeli reservists report for duty ahead of Gaza City offensive. U.S. military kills 11 people in strike on alleged drug boat from Venezuela. Federal government declares Friday public holiday. National Assembly cautions against planned adoption of computer-based WASI. I am Aneke. Now the news in details. Hundreds of women wearing pink and wielding broomsticks marched to parliament in Indonesia's capital to protest against imposes a punishment of up to 5-year jail and has become part of a broader same-sex relationships across the continent. Justice Minister Idaso Rodriguez 5 years as well as fines. He added that foreign nationals caught breaking the law would also be deported. Still in Africa, the UN says 70 people in the remote and humanitarian coordinator in Sudan, Luca Renda, told the BBC that they were sending rescuers, food and other aid and would get a clearer picture soon. This news broadcast is coming to you live from Aneke TV. Remember, you can follow us on all social media, Facebook, and TikTok, and here on YouTube, all at Aneke TV. Now let's take a quick look at major developments in the news. Protests rock Indonesia's president's trip to China. Thousands of Israeli reservists report for duty ahead of Gaza City offensive. U.S. military kills 11 in strike on alleged drug boat from Venezuela. And coming up shortly, federal government declares Friday public holiday. National Assembly cautions against planned adoption of computer-based for WASI. The news returns after the break. You're still watching Round the Globe on Aneke TV, and we continue with the news. President Bola Tinubu has reaffirmed that the establishment of state police is unavoidable as part of efforts to strengthen security across the country. Speaking at the presidential villa in Abuja during a cozy visit by a delegation of prominent Katsina indigents led by Governor Diko Rada, Tinubu said the federal government is committed to confronting insecurity head-on. The president directed security agencies to reassess their operations in Katsina, which has witnessed a spike in banditry, and disclosed that advanced military equipment and surveillance. I'll take that paragraph again. The president directed security agencies to reassess their operations in Katsina State, which has witnessed a spike in banditry, and disclosed that advanced military equipment and surveillance technology would be deployed. He also revealed plans to enhance the capacity of newly recruited forest guards in the state. The president stressed that while the country faces serious security challenges, they can be resolved with determination and strategy. Meanwhile, the federal government has declared Friday public holiday. This is to mark this year's Eid al-Mawlid, which is the celebration of the birth of Prophet Muhammad. The statement was issued by the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Interior, Dr. Magdalene Ajani, on behalf of the Minister of Interior, Dr. Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo. The government congratulated Muslims across the country and in the diaspora on the occasion, urging them to emulate the Prophet's virtues of peace, love, humility, tolerance, and compassion. The statements also encourage Nigerians of all faiths to use the celebration to pray for peace, security, and stability in the country, while supporting government's efforts to strengthen national unity and foster development. In the meantime, Governor Monday Okpebolo of Edo State has distributed 300 motorbikes to enhance security in the state. This was contained in a statement released by the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Mr. Fred Itwa. While distributing the motorbikes to security agencies in the 3 senatorial districts of the state, the governor stated that criminals would have no hiding place in the state under his administration. Still on security issues, Vice President Kashim Shettima yesterday reaffirmed President Bola Tinubu's unwavering commitment to the peace, security, and stability of the Gulf of Guinea, with particular emphasis on ongoing reforms in the Gulf of Guinea Commission, GGC. Speaking while receiving the Executive Secretary of the Commission, Mr. Joseph Abeso, and his delegation at the Presidential Villa Abuja, Senator Shettima stressed Nigeria's dedication to regional cooperation and alignment with the African Union's 2050 Integrated Maritime Strategy. Earlier, the Executive Secretary of the Gulf of Guinea Commission, Mr. Joseph Abeso, sought Nigeria's support for the Commission's reform agenda, which includes expanding its membership to all 19 coastal states of the Gulf of Guinea, enhancing regional peace and security, and engaging insurance companies to review high shipping premiums in the area. The GGC chief also praised Nigeria's leadership in establishing the Combined Maritime Task Force and urged President Tinubu to rally other regional leaders to operationalize the force. And meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu yesterday said his administration will remain resilient and has no fear of the trade policy direction of U.S. President Donald Trump, particularly tariffs targeting Nigerian exports. President Tinubu made the remarks when he received in audience members of the Buhari organization, led by former governor of Nasarawa State, Senator Tanko Al-Makura, who paid him a solidarity visit at the presidential villa in Abuja. The president cited Nigeria's current economic trajectory and growing non-oil revenues as buffers against external shocks. He highlighted Nigeria's strengthened fiscal position, having met its 2025 revenue target as of August, and noted a stabilization in the naira, which has appreciated to around 1,450 naira per dollar from a previous rate of 1,900 naira after he unified the exchange rate upon assuming office in May 2023. President Trump's second term has ushered in sweeping changes to U.S. trade policy, including the imposition of a 10% baseline tariff on imports, alongside country-specific. Now to education, lawmakers in the National Assembly have cautioned the West African Examinations Council to tread carefully in its planned introduction of computer-based testing for West African Senior School Certificate Examination warning that any glitch in the 2026 rollout could jeopardize the future of millions of Nigerian students. WAEC had earlier given firm assurance that the new computer-based examination would be accessible to students in every part of the country, regardless of location or access to technology. Head of the WAEC National Office, Dr. Amos Dangote, made the pledge in Abuja during a sensitization session organized for members of the National Assembly Committees on Education. He explained that a phased approach was already being implemented, starting with objective questions before expanding to theory and practical components to allow schools and candidates to adapt. Still talking education, holiday lesson, also known as summer lessons, can be referred to as an educational opportunity taken during a school holiday, a lesson focused on travel or cultural experiences, or a structured learning program designed for holiday periods, such as a learning holiday. Correspondent Chidimai Kemede in this report takes a look at the gains and disadvantages of holiday lesson.
In Nigeria, holiday lessons, also known as summer lessons or summer school, have gradually become part of our education a la mode. What started as a simple way for schools and parents to keep children engaged during the long break has now become a familiar practice across many communities. Instead of leaving children idle for weeks, holiday lessons help them revise, catch up on areas they find difficult, and sometimes even get ahead of the regular school calendar. For many parents, this comes as a relief. Holiday lessons keep their children busy in a meaningful way. They sharpen study habits, build confidence, and help prevent the kind of learning loss that often happens when the break is too long. Some children also return to school feeling better prepared because of the extra learning. But not everyone sees it that way. For some families, holiday lessons take away the much-needed time for rest. Children, after a long term of academic stress, barely get a chance to breathe before heading back into the classroom. Instead of playing sports, enjoying hobbies, or spending time with their loved ones, many end up stuck in another round of lessons. It also limits opportunities to travel, to explore new places, or to join holiday camps that will give them valuable life experiences outside of academics. When Aneke TV spoke to some Nigerians about this, the opinions were mixed. Some parents believed the lessons are necessary, while others argue that children should be allowed to balance learning with life outside school.
For me, I think holidays are meant for children to relax, you know, to relax with their brains, relax with their parents, because they've been in school for months, from morning, because most times you see that even after the normal school lessons, there is this lesson that they normally hold till like 4 5 in the evening. Then the next morning, before 7, some have left their home, the parents have left, all in the name of pursuing education. And now holiday is around, yet these kids will never rest.
I will suggest that if our children are about to experience holiday lesson, they should be able to try a different school, not going to lesson in that same school, because the school that they have been may be making mistakes in trying to give them inculcation based on academic calendar and what they call the syllabus. But when they try another school or another lesson center altogether, they should be able to compare what they are having in their conventional school with their experience in the lesson. But there is also another option aside holiday lessons. Holiday is meant for our children to also try skills acquisition. Skills acquisition could be a better alternative to the holiday lessons.
I'm not a fan of holiday lessons. I want my children to explore other areas after school. When they are done with school, I want to engage them with skills acquisition. I want to engage them with traveling, seeing places. But if they must go for lessons, like I know some people attend extra lessons or lessons after during the holiday, then it shouldn't be so much, give them time to relax.
Everything in life that has an advantage also has a disadvantage. For a balanced academic calendar, teachers, parents, and school managers need to work together. Learning is important, but so is rest, family time, and social growth. If holiday lessons are planned to be shorter and more engaging, children will have time to relax, travel, and grow in other areas of life. At the end of the day, holiday lessons are not entirely good or bad. What matters is finding the right balance. Our children need to be academically strong, but they also need space to grow socially, emotionally, and physically. That balance is what will prepare them not only for school, but for life itself. Chidimmi Kemede, Aneke TV.
Date September the 2nd, 2025. The case filed by former security guard Emmanuel Ellis stemmed from an alleged altercation in 2018 outside the Beverly Hills office where Ellis, who worked at the building as a guard, claimed the rapper attacked her. Ellis alleged that Cardi B, who was pregnant at the time, scratched her face with fingernails, spat on her, and hurled racial slurs at her. Taking the stand last week, Cardi B firmly denied the accusation, stating that the incident was strictly verbal. According to the rapper, her anger arose from being filmed without consent during a private medical appointment. Her defense was reinforced by testimonies from witnesses, including a receptionist and a doctor present at the clinic, who told the jury they saw no physical assault. After less than an hour of deliberation, the jury unanimously sided with Cardi B, ruling her not liable for any of the alleged actions. Outside the courthouse, the rapper expressed relief and a strong stance against false claims. And that was the news at 3 on Aneke TV. To end the news, here are the main points. Hundreds of women wearing pink and wielding broomsticks marched to Parliament in Indonesia's capital Wednesday to protest against police abuses and wasteful government spending. President Donald Trump said the U.S. has carried out a strike against a drug-carrying vessel in the southern Caribbean, killing 11 narco-terrorists. We also told you that the federal government has declared Friday public holiday. And to end the news, for breaking news and eyewitness reports, please call 0703-043-7110. Or you can send a message across all our social media platforms on Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, and here on YouTube, all at Aneke TV. I am Amaka Niji, and thank you for joining us.